what up, everybody? Cat here. Liam's with me today,
Yo.
and this is our SMITE God of the Week. This week we're looking at Artemis, our first god for SMITE. Before we do that, though, we're gonna go into what SMITE has to offer, a little bit into what SMITE have to offer. SMITE is currently in closed beta, so if you want to check out SMITE, you will need a beta key. Hopefully, we'll be giving out some beta keys soon during our God of the Week. And yeah, let's get into it. What do you like most about SMITE, Aaron?
Most about Smite? That's too hard to narrow down.
Alright, then what do you like about SMITE? Just tell me.
I like a lot about Smite. Smite's basically it's a MOBA game that feels more like an action game, and I mean that in the best way possible. It doesn't lose any of like the cool stat-driven stuff that people love about MOBA games, or the strategy behind MOBA games. It's just faster. It feels more visceral, and it looks pretty. Movement doesn't suck. That's the first point I have to make, because I can't stand movement in most MOBA games like Dota and League of Legends or whatever, where you point click, oh, just kill me. But you use WASD, you get to move around like crazy. Like, so if you're watching right now, like Artemis is just dodging shit left and right. I mean, he's getting hit too. You can suck cut, but still, he's dodging a lot. And that's possible because of the WASD. Like, it's very responsive. It doesn't feel sluggish. It feels good. So that's the first highlight. I love it. Probably the best thing, though, and I'm sure you love this too, Kat. It's the fact that all of the abilities and moves are skill shot.
Everything.
There isn't any, yeah, all of it. Like, there isn't any of this, I'm gonna select this champion because he's in range, and then I'm just insta-gib him with a nuke that I have because I can just press a button. Yay.
Yeah.
Like, everything has to be aimed. Everything.
Yeah, you
And
saw at the beginning I was dodging Agni. His normal attacks were skill shot, everything. So I was dodging him. You're able to dodge normal attacks. It's skill. This game is built around skill.
Yeah, more so than any other MOBA game I've really played, and that says a lot about the game. It does shift top tier players, I think, a little bit as well, because it's no longer the better build is guaranteed to win. Builds are still important, but player skill can get you really far, and that's just awesome. I love that.
And I think too, since you're talking about the skill and stuff like that, League of Legends has runes and masteries, which you get when you level up your summoner. I don't know if this game is going to have something like that later on, because it is in closed beta. But I have to say, I enjoy the game way more without mastering runes, because everybody's on the equal playing field. There is no.
Yeah, you know what? That's a very good point, and that is something I had forgotten, because it's not an issue. I feel it's a big issue in other games where, you know, a lower level goes up against a higher level, you know, summoner level or what have you, and then you've just got this, like, a lot of people say that runes and masteries don't matter or whatever, but in the reality matter is, you know, level 1, if you have somebody that's stacking nothing but like attack damage or something like that, and you go up against a player who has little to no runes, you're gonna get spanked. Like, one hit's half your health, so yeah, it's great about Smite. And I hope they keep it that way. I really do. If they see this, I really hope, you know, they consider keeping it that way.
Keep it that way, high res. Keep it.
Whatever you do, high res, please. If you're watching it, don't add like masteries or anything that's gonna give like a stat edge in the beginning. It doesn't need it. But with that said, the game does run fast. It's a fixed camera behind your character, so it's a fixed third person, but it's not isometric. This does a really nice job of shifting how you play the game a little bit, because no longer do you have such awareness around your character. So ganks, early ganks, and just sneaking up on your opponent is a much more viable solution than it is in games like League of Legends or Dota, because there's no, like, you know, I'm in a bush so nobody's gonna see me, and then I'm gonna pop out and everyone can see me. It's, if you're behind a person, you're behind a person. They probably don't know you're there unless somebody's telling them, and that feels great. You know, you come out of the jungle, even though you're out in the open, they might not be looking your way, and you could just spank them from behind, and they'll just never know. So that's great. I love that a lot. There are differences as well between other games, but before I get into that, I gotta their interface. Now that I'm looking at it, it's great. It's very, very elegantly done. It's presented very well. I don't want to say it's minimalistic, because obviously there is a lot of stuff on screen, but it's all very viable. Like, none of it doesn't need to be there. It all feels good.
Yeah.
I give it to them. Like, they did a really good job in managing their UI. Everything's the right size. The minimap doesn't seem too small, doesn't seem too big. Things don't seem to get in the way, and all the information you need is there. And that dovetails into the shop, which we're seeing right now. The shop is laid out perfectly. Up top, you've got main categories and their subcategories, and then below it, you have the list of items within that category, and to the right, you have the items that you're going to build or you're looking to build. All items are 3 steps, so unlike games like League of Legends or Dota, where you have a million items that make up one item, you never know which one to grab first. Here, it's just simple. I want these awesome boots. I'll just buy the first version of them, the second version of them, and then finally the granddaddy of them, and that's it. It's real simplistic, real easy.
Yeah.
So there's no confusion. If you can't manage to shop in Smite, then God help you.
And even quick commands. I called one just a second ago. You can call quick commands like enemies missing middle, come gank left, come gank right. So you don't have to sit there typing. This game, since it's action based, you need like most of your time on the keyboard moving, not typing. So you get little quick commands like real easy to do. It's like 3 buttons. You have to kind of get used to it because the buttons are a little bit weird to press. But once you get used to the, what would you call it, like the combo
naming
of,
convention.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy. Like you call enemy missing middle. It's just real nice because then you don't have to
It's
worry
auditory.
about.
That's the big thing.
Yeah,
It's not like like another game where you have people just chatting, SS or MIA or whatever, and you might miss that. You actually have the game announcers like, yo, gank left.
yeah, exactly.
So it feels good. It gets things across, and it makes playing with pickup groups a lot better, especially if they can manage those, which a lot of people do use them, which is great. It doesn't seem like there are a lot of players that don't utilize it, and that's a good thing. Another nice thing is that all buffs are already laid out on the minimap, so you don't have to guess where blue buff is or where the attack damage buff is. It's just a little icon there, so you're like, oh, it's over there, so you don't feel like a retard for not being able to memorize it. Differences though that I should mention before I run out of time is A towers, they don't hit very hard. I don't want to say they don't hit hard, but they certainly hit substantially less than in other games like LoL. So turret diving early is totally possible, so watch out for that. But inversely, minions will whoop your ass. They hit really hard.
Yeah.
So when you see minions, don't treat them lightly. I mean, they'll probably beat your ass early game more often than the gods will.
Yeah.
So you should definitely watch out with that.
And
another thing to note.
Before you say it, sorry for interrupting, but the jungle, there's more than just blue and red buff. There's attack buff, there's a movement speed buff, and there's a defense buff there too. So you get more buffs in there in the jungle. So.
Yeah, there are a wider array of buffs, which is nice. They still have kind of like if you're used to LoL, like they kind of have their own version of the dragon. They have their own version of the Baron. But that stuff you'll just see as you play through. Other things to note: the end of it, as opposed to beating down a structure or a big ass inhibitor or something like that, you actually fight a boss. It's a Minotaur. He looks cool as hell, and he'll beat you down if you don't go about it the right way. You can see him here. He's just standing there in the center, all cool looking like. But you have those, and to replace the inhibitors in League of Legends, you have these phoenixes. They kind of act similar. They're their own turrets, and when they go down, something happens. When you kill a phoenix, the Minotaur, the enemy Minotaur, gets weaker. This is important because that Minotaur, if you just rush in balls to the wall, you'll probably die. So you want to take down those phoenixes to make him an easier kill, so you can secure the kill and the victory. So it's important to kind of balance that out. As always, though, phoenixes do resurrect, like in lore. So much like the inhibitors and everything, you can take out a phoenix, you take too long, he'll come back, and that could happen, mid-Minotaur fight. So Minotaur, you might be beating him down, and then all 3 phoenixes pop up, and then oh well, you just got your ass beaten.
Yeah, man.
Sucks on your part.
And that
From a
Minotaur
technical
hits hard.
He does. From a technical standpoint, this game uses UDK. So I'm pretty sure everyone's familiar with UDK by now, but it's a good engine. It runs fairly well everywhere when optimized correctly, and Hi-Rez has done a good job of doing that. From what I've seen, it runs fairly well on most systems I've played it on. The game looks good. Art direction wise, it's kind of got like this stylized take on all of the lore and all of the heroes and gods. They've got a little bit of attitude to them, which is nice. I like it. It's a good brisk change of pace. And the game's just overall pretty and it runs good. So it's just, I mean, you can see it here. It's nice. So enjoy it.
Yeah. So
That aside, let's go to Artemis, the person you've been seeing whoop ass all day.
yeah, this is our God of the Week, Artemis. I play her every chance I get. I love her. I'm usually playing with Liram anyway, and he plays the Ymir. So Artemis Ymir, great synergy in lane. Her skills, excellent. She has her first skill is it's like a trap that you put on the floor. Enemies go in it, they get damage a little bit over time, like 3 seconds of damage over time, and also they get snared for 3 seconds, which is quite a long time. But the thing is with that is they have to run into it, and it's pretty easy to dodge, especially with WASD movement. It's easy to dodge it. So, but people can run into it. Like I think right here, I capture Agni. He just runs into it because I don't know what he was doing. He runs into it. I was able to get him down. You also saw arrow volley, which I don't think that's what it's called, but it's arrow shower basically. Shower of arrows.
That move's annoying, by the way.
When he runs away, or the.
No, I'm just saying it's annoying. Like when you have an arrow volley land on you, like, it's just like you usually see it coming, but it's just got like kind of like a wide range to it. So
yeah, it's a big.
You always get hit.
Yeah, he must have thought he was gonna run away right there, but he got hit by it. You can't escape.
He almost got taken up by that Phoenix too.
Yeah, the Phoenix hits hard, but luckily I was in between. And she has an attack speed move. Her 2 is an attack speed. So when you click, you get bonus attack speed for like 5-7 seconds, something like that. And when you level up to max level, it's pretty fast. So it's a nice skill to probably max out first. Either that or arrow shower you want to max first. Me, I max it just depending on how I feel. It's random. And her ultimate, the boar, I think I use it here. Boom. You stun Thor. It stuns, does some damage. After it's done stunning that, it stuns the next champion, which it went to Freya over there and it stunned Freya. It allowed me to get the double kill. I'm pretty fed on this game, so I should have probably killed them. But I killed them, so it's. The boar is
yeah,
nice,
I think you still might have made it off with those 2 kills, even if you weren't fed, just because you got a good flank on them.
Yeah, that's it. And that comes down to talking about the camera angle. They couldn't see me behind them because I was behind them. Naturally.
And they weren't looking at their mini-map, so they just said they paid for it.
Yeah.
What do you like to build stat-wise with Artemis? I know she's kind of like an Ashe kind of character. I know she seems kind of quick, but what do you do with her? What do you build?
Early game I built boots and potion, 3 potions and level 2 boots, just so I can get the extra attack damage and I can sustain the lane pretty easily with the potions and stuff like that. Health potion, not mana potion, by the way. Boots and maybe attack speed. Not really attack speed, more attack damage. I will go attack damage first. I know that for a fact. Items, it just depends on what I think look nice. I'll just go for attack damage. I want to build that. It looks pretty cool. I'll build attack damage and then later on, depending on what I want to do, either attack speed or lifesteal. If I find myself dying or I'm not coming out of team fights with as much health as I want to, I'll build lifesteal, but other than that, I'll probably go attack speed or something like that. That's pretty much how I build her every game. I might later on look into like an actual build of items, but for now it's just kind of whatever I feel like building.
Gotcha, but still a focus on attack speed damage and a bit of lifesteal if you're having trouble laning or sustaining, right?
Yeah, not really any defense because glass cannon, whatever.
Glass cannon's just your build. I think that's just how you play MOBA games.
Yeah, that's just how I play all MOBA games. So.
Alright, that's
her synergy is just nice. You see me with Ymir. Just right now, Ymir could freeze. Artemis could do the damage while he's freezing, while he has him freeze. Artemis has the boar ult like you saw. It's nice with the synergy because Ymir's ultimate will hit them while she's stunned, them with the boar. It's just awesome synergy with an Artemis player on your team.
Well, that's great, man. Well, either way, man, this is kind of concludes our Artemis. These are the high points of Artemis. We'll probably be doing another SMITE next week, just because I think there's already a lot of footage out for LoL. But either way, let us know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys want another Smite next week, or if you guys would prefer a LoL, and we'll keep you guys posted on beta keys. I think we'll be able to give some out sometime soon for Smite.
And on that note, peace out.